All right, so I'm going to take this water closet outside and we're going to take it all apart and clean it. My honey is going to finish the scraping in here. All right, so anyway, I'm going to pull all this stuff out of here. I'm going to pull the flush valve out. And to do that, I got to come on the bottom, pop this off. You can see that this thing, look at that, pretty gross. Flip it over, and I got to pull that off. You need a special tool, and it's called a plumber's wrench. We come over here. I happen to have one in my plumbing equipment, and this is what's going to take that off of there. As you can see, you got to set it on there like that, and then you tighten it down. And then remember, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Just got to get it on there. Doesn't want to do what I want it to do, does it? Okay, so this is fully open. Come on. This one, oh, this isn't. Check that out. That thing is actually bigger than my plumber's wrench. Let's see if I can push it down on there. See that? This plumber's wrench isn't big enough. Shit. All right, so anyway, I jammed it on there. Let's see if we can get it to move. There we go. That's it right there. Now you're gonna have to reach in on the inside and hold that center. Well, maybe not. Looks like it's coming right off. So we're good. This thing's gotta be, I don't know, 25 years old. That's it, bam, done. So that's off. Now we just gotta get this off of here. And that, it's got a little thing on there. Pull that off. All right, so that's off and that's off. Now we got to get this off.
I'm assuming you don't need this.
All right, you can see one of the problems with this thing is that see how it moves on the inside? That's one of the reasons this wasn't flushing right. So I got a new handle for it, and we'll put that on there. All right, so we got to get that off of there. Get my channel lock open. Gotta get it loose. And then once you get it loose, righty tighty lefty loosey, remember which way to go. Pulls off like that and you pull it out. Bam, done. Save it just in case you need that nut. You never know. So these are our old parts, and you can see it. This is completely rusted out, and that was not working properly. This was the donut on the bottom of this, and you can see that's all worn out. So it's a good thing that we're changing this out. We're going to completely rebuild this. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it all out and wash it. Make it look really nice, like it's brand new. That's the first thing. And this was very interesting because this plumber's wrench barely fit that thing. This thing was actually bigger than the wrench, and I had to jam it on with my hammer. But you can see, look, watch. That's how tight it was. We're gonna need this later though, when we put the new one on over here. All right, so let's clean this thing up. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna clean this up. And first we'll get it all wet. So now I'm doing the bottom. You gotta be careful, you don't want to break the thing. Okay, so now I gotta do the top. So I'm gonna wet it first. You see all that junk in there? That's from years of use. do it over here on the grass. That way I don't scratch the thing. Okay, so anyway, we've got our water closet here. And now all we've got to do is replace all the guts inside. Over here is where you're going to put your universal flow valve. Over here is where you're going to put your universal flush valve. And these two right here are where you're going to put the screws and bolts that lock the water closet down to the base of the toilet. So I bought this all-in-one toilet repair, universal easy install Fluidmaster. And it's got everything in there, including the handle. So this should be what we need to replace and rebuild the guts on this water closet. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's take a look and see what's inside this bad boy. This is usually the hardest part, just getting it open. Yep. There we go. And we got her open. All right, so this is our flush valve. There's the plunger. Make sure you take that off. And this is going to go underneath. I'll show you what I mean by that. This, once it goes through, then you put this over it. So let's set that there. We're going to need it. Put that there. This is the flow valve that goes through the toilet right here. This is the part that goes through, and it sits in it in the corner just like that. So we'll set that there. And then we've got numerous parts in here that we're going to need. This is our toilet handle. So we've got that. And we'll need this. This supplies the water from the universal flow valve to the universal flush valve spout. And these are your lockdown nuts. Need those. All right, so we're ready to rock. All right, make sure that you put your washer on before you set this down in there. They give you a washer, but they don't have it. For some reason, they didn't have it on this thing. So you got to push that down, get that washer on there. Otherwise, if you put it all together and fill it up, it's going to leak all over the place. All right, so now you got your washer on there, you're good. All right, to put this in, it's very simple. That back hole, just slide it through, and it sits just like that. All right, so when I let go of it, it's going to lay down there. And then you're going to take this part here, and we got to screw it on there. All right, so you're going to reach in at the same time. And first, let's go ahead and get this started. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, as usual. I'm holding it here as I twist in the back. And then and you don't want to put it too tight right away because you may have to adjust it. Once I get it twisted on there, I'm not going to tighten it completely, but then there you go, you're right there. Now you can still adjust it, as you can see. There's the top of it. Now you've got to adjust it so that you can get your hose on this little thing, and it's going to come to your universal flush valve spout, which is this top part right here. So you want to make sure that you have this adjusted so you can get to that and put that hose on there. So I would say right about there is going to probably work. And then when we get in there, we'll tighten this down a little bit more, but just to lock it in. So far we're pretty good. We've got our universal flow valve in there, and now we got to put our flush valve in. All right, so when you put the flush valve in, you got to put it in a certain way so it's not in, so you've got to kind of bring it in like this and put it in on a sideways motion like that. But first we got to take off the nut. And if you remember the nut that I had before, it's the exact same kind. It's this big giant nut here. So we're going to roll that off because that goes on the back once we push it through that hole. But I want to show you the attitude that you're going to need for that. Of course, it takes forever to get it off. Let's put it here. I'm filming with one hand and doing the stuff with the other. Almost there. There we go. So put that right there because you're going to need that in the back. Now this will fit through there. And it's got a little right here is a little rubber washer. It's your seal. And so you set it through just like that. Now you want to have your universal flow valve so you can see where you're going to put your little rubber tube. Let me show you that rubber tube. So this rubber tube is going to go on that thing right there, and then it's going to clip onto this once we get it squared away. Let's just set that there. So now I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to hold it with one hand, and then I'm going to go on the bottom and I'm going to screw that nut in. All right, so anyway, I have to reach my one hand inside the water closet to straighten this out a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm kind of like where I want to have it. And then I'm going to hold it, I'm going to grab the white nut, and I'm going to slide it on there. And all I'm going to do is just basically tighten this down. Just like that. It's not that much to it. Now we're going to put the wrench on it to get it really tight. All right, so anyway, we got it on there. Now we've got to get our little wrench here. All right, so here we are. We got to get our wrench on there. And this one's a little bit smaller than the other one, right? So I got to tighten her down like that. And then we can turn it. Now you want to hold it on the inside at the same time. And you're just going to get it snug inside there. You see I'm getting it pretty snug because you don't want to leak. I need to tighten it just a little bit. Let's get her on there. Okay. You don't want to do it too tight so you break it, but that's it there. Okay, I think we're good. I think that's pretty tight. Now before we put it on, we put this on there. And that's what seals it to keep the water from going into the toilet. All right, let's take a look over here. All right, so anyway, I was holding this while I screwed this on, and we've got a pretty good angle. Now we've got our universal flush valve right here and our universal flow valve hooked up. Now the next part is to hook up our little hose. And that's gonna go on here, and that's gonna go on a little clip here. All right, so I found that it's smart to put it on here before you put it on the stack. So I'm going to push it right on like that, you see? And then this is going to go on this stack here. But we want to get it on over here too. So hang on, let me get you, put it in here. So I've got to get it on here too. So I got to put some, put my hand behind it to hold it because I really got to push it to get it on. Okay, so now I'm on there. All right, let's come back over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this here, and this is going to slip right on that. And I got to put it on this side so that the water flows down. Let me show you. So I'm going to slip it right on there. Just like that. And I'm going to push it down. And now you see the water's flowing into this, because then it comes out the bottom over here. And that's what fills the tank up. So we're hooked on here, right? We're hooked on here. We're good here. We've tightened this down well, and we can tighten this a little bit more. I'm hand tightening it. So now we've rebuilt the entire guts of this toilet. So I've got to take this nut off right here. Righty tighty, lefty loosey sometimes works. And that just slides off. All right, so there we are. So this is going to go on the inside. All right, so I've got to slide this in like that. And you'll notice it's square right there. See how that's square? I just got to get the square in there. Bam, done. Now I'm just going to let it float like that. And then I've got to fish this over the top of it. All right? So I don't know if it makes a difference which way you go, but we'll just do it this way. And then we're going to just kind of twist her on. See if I can do that. I'm doing this all with one hand and filming with the other. Oh, there we go. I got it. I think I got it started. That's good. All right, so now we just gotta twist it on. I may get a different handle because this one looks kind of cheap. And that tightens. And that's basically it right there. I'm not sure if Lynette's gonna like this one, but so much for that. All right, now we're gonna take this down in here, and we've got to get it off of this little line here. It's gonna come off. Okay, so now you got to hook this onto your thing, and we're gonna leave that because I'm gonna have to adjust it once we get it in there, so we've got the right height on it. But I'm not really happy with this handle. I may have to purchase a different one. We'll see. I bought another one, so we can try that one out too. All right, so I think we're ready to go on this. That looks good. That's done. All right, we're gonna need these because these go through the back and tighten the water closet to the base of the toilet. And we don't want to lose this, so let's just go ahead and push that on there. Then we're gonna take this all inside. All right, looking good. Did a great job.